Well, greetings and shalom, everybody. This is a Sabbath day that I'm bringing forth this video, so it's also a Shabbat shalom to you. It's basically to bring forth awareness again about when the true, as far as our studies. Now, there's others. I have a dear friend that's keeping the Feast of Tabernacles, started it here like last night or the night before. So there's people all over the place that are keeping the feasts. They're keeping them, to the best of their knowledge. I don't see them doing these things, trying to be deceptive. I wasn't trying to be deceptive when I was wrong, but I do want to point out here that this year, September 2019, for those that are living in the Americas anyway, the new moon, the seventh new moon, which was pointed out to me by our brother Shul here, he says, I think you're a month early. I got September 28th as the seventh moon, or thereabouts. And then the Day of Atonement is October 7th, and Tabernacles beginning October 12th. So those are the dates that he saw and showed me, and I'm very grateful because, like I say, even with my three boys, I had to get extra help from people to figure out actually when the 8th day was for their circumcision. So anyway, this is a day, in case you don't know, that we should be blowing trumpets. I don't know if it's symbolic of the Holy Malachim that'll be, blasting the trumpets in Revelation as a prelude to when they arrive on the scene or not. I don't know. There's a lot of things concerning the feast we don't know. A lot of people guessing, a lot of people making them doctrines that everyone has to believe in whatever cult they're in or whatever. But in the same token, there's a lot of things that we're just not aware of in trying to push on other people. Let's let the scriptures go ahead and do the definitions for us, like with love, it's the keeping of commandments. Now, I write you, lady, that not no new commandment or anything, but that you love one another. And this is love, that we keep his commandments. And it's the same thing as righteousness. It will be your righteousness, Deuteronomy 6:25 speaks, and says, if we keep his commandments, it will be righteousness to you. All right, so anyway, I'm using the Farmer's Almanac here. And it's a day for blowing trumpets on the new moon. The Day of Atonement is a day that you shouldn't put anything into your mouth, except, if you got a toothbrush, I would highly recommend that you just wet it down, maybe with a little baking soda or something. And so it's easy to rinse out. You don't want to swallow the water or anything. It's a total 24-hour period, or very close to it, that you don't want to put anything into your mouth, okay? It's a day of fasting. You need to feel convicted. You should be going over your entire life, especially if you're new in the faith, as far as all the sins you did. When you kicked the cat or pulled its tail, when you talked bad about someone behind their back and you shouldn't have, when you gave false testimony, if you murdered someone, or if you committed fornication or adultery, or if you used to participate in the sins of homosexuality and things of this sort, and be bitterly opposed to yourself, hate yourself. And that's what the Day of Atonement's about. If you don't afflict yourself, you're supposed to be even cut off from the people. Then even if you can, stay in with the people, our king is got you pushed to the side if you're going to go ahead and break that Day of Atonement. We need to be at one with our Heavenly Father through his righteous Son, and at one with Yahshua, and put our trust totally in him. We can survive the Day of Atonement. One day without food a year, and it's really great health on your holy temple as well. There's a purpose for these fastings. There's a lot out on the internet about fasting. I highly recommend you take a look into these things, get yourself prepared, and not trying to boast or anything, but look at this bad baby here. This is what I just picked up. So I'm kind of glad, because here, the last Feast of Trumpets, I was using my little water bottle trumpet that I cut the bottom out, and you know, that was it. But now look at this bad baby, and I picked it up for less than 20 bucks, and it's supposed to be shipped here by the 23rd, which is in hopefully plenty of time to get it for the 28th. And I'll be blowing the shofar. I'll see you on that day. Hopefully I'll be making a video blowing trumpets for those that don't have one. But I highly recommend you go to, you know, even the Dollar Tree or something. They always got these little party favorites, you know, little horns, whatever. I highly recommend you pick some up and just make some great joyous noise on this here September 28th that's coming up, from the 27th at sundown to the 28th at sundown. Let's blow those trumpets and make our King smile. Okay, and our Heavenly Father will smile, because if our King's smiling, our Heavenly Father will smile. We have to treat our King just like we would treat our Heavenly Father. We can't get to the Father except through the Son. You can pray to the Father all you want. Your prayers are not heard unless you give them to Yeshua. He is our mediator. He's the postman. Okay, and there's no way to get in between. You can't go in any other way. You can't go through a back window or a door. There just isn't any. Yeshua is the only door. He's the front door. He's the only entrance that there is. So many think that they know him, and once again, I do highly recommend you take a look at the video that I just recently brought out to see whether you do know him or not. And when you find out that you've been a liar your entire life, please just repent. Don't give up. Let that be the milestone for you to start, to turn around from where you are. Just stop all the deceptions you've been living and teaching and practicing. You know, Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14 and 15, it talks about blessed are those, in 14, that keep his commandments, that they might have right to the tree of life and may enter into the gates of the city. But in verse 15, it talks about, but outside of that kingdom, outside of that great city, you got the dogs and the whoremongers. And the very last part of that talks about those that keep Christmas and Halloween, where you dress up your little children as things that our Heavenly Father hates, that our King hates, because they're at one. You know, our Father and the Son are at one. Uno, they believe all the same things. And if you're dressing your children up to be whores and harlots and Draculas and demons and Satan himself, herself, you know, these things, you know, you practice, it's in your mind, and it's displayed outwardly. Just look out your window on any Halloween night and you'll see the rebellion toward the Heavenly Father and his righteous laws. You'll see the hatred toward our King, where people say, no, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to put on this righteousness that comes from keeping your laws only. I'd rather do what I want to do, because you have to have unconditional love with me. Because that's what my preacher said. You know, you got to love me no matter what. So if I'm gay, well, you know, I still know him. These things are all lies, and I'm not picking on the gays. Believe me, I hate what you do, gay people, okay? I hate it. You know, in fact, there was recently I had some comments, and a fellow was trying to explain to me that only reptilians are homosexual. But, you know, I personally know people that are human beings that are homosexual. And we had a little, you know, conversation, but some people just come up with those ideas, and I love it. You know, please, if I can help correct you in your way of thinking or whatever, you have a question, please comment. You know, that's basically what I live my life for, is to comment, to bring forth our King's kingdom, his truths. So please support me in that. I'm not asking for your money. I'm not asking you to subscribe. It takes 1,000 subscribers to go live with YouTube, and I don't, you know, just to go live. I'd rather not ask you to do so. If it's in your heart to subscribe, please do, and follow up with some of these things. There's over 200 videos that I was led to bring for you, because our King loves you that much that he's using me to bring forth these things. And let's stop lying to one another. Lying is a trait that just fills in gaps in our lives that we feel inadequate. Those are a lot of white lies. Oh yeah, I've done, and you never did. My entire life in the past before I came to the truth was a lie, and so was half of my walk of, almost 40 years here. I was caught up in these lies. But, once I came to the realization that we are to be content in all things, that's the key to quit lying. And it's all part of the law. Our King's bow, he says, be content in all things. Be thankful for everything. If you can be content with the things that come upon you, then you have no reason to embellish, I guess you can say, which is a nice word for lie. Same thing, as murder. The nice terms are like abortion or family planning or ingredients in your food supply. These things. So let's put away the lies. Let's work at these things. Let's get ourselves our shofars ready. Make one yourself, bring out flutes if you got to, but it says trumpets, and let's make a joyous shout here on the 28th coming up. So with that, my friends, I thank you for putting up with me. Please comment, and hopefully we'll be meeting together, at our King's table at the feast, no matter where we're at. Shabbat Shalom.